Thank you, Dr. Banerjee, and thank you, Professor Pathak. Thank you, everyone, for coming here and being part of this program and making it successful. We have started the program today a little earlier, and some of you who have been able to participate and invoke. As we said, if you go through the agenda, there are different aspects that we have included in the agenda itself. The first element in the agenda, which we knew is the time that people take to come and kind of get together. In any conference, any workshop, any event, there is a time that is needed for everyone to just kind of congregate and come together. But we utilized that time to actually create and invoke all the elements of nature, and we performed what we call the Prakriti Jagarana Yatra. It is a continuation of that. Not all of you actually were able to be present in the biophilic studio where we did this just before this. So I will like to start this whole thing once again just with an initiation of the elements of nature. As we know, the Shankha Dhvani and the sound of the bell. What I would like all of you to experience, not just the words that we speak here, but because those are words that we speak, but for example, when you hear the sound of this Shankh, it's a very natural sound which comes. It is, for example, as we were, and this is very important, as we were conducting the performance, because there is a security gate at the reception where which is essential, because in today's world it has become very difficult to trust our guests. In a nation where we used to talk about Atithi Deva Bhava, we have to, and there is no other way, we have to have a specific doorway which ensures and tells us and warns us and alerts us that the guest or the Atithi who is coming in can be trusted. Now, a little later, when you hear the Shankha Dhvani and when you hear this bell ring, just try to juxtapose it with the methodology or the manner that we, technologists, scientists, decision makers, policy makers, have created in order to ensure that the guest who is coming in can be trusted or not. Look at the process. You will hear this bell and this Shankh. This is the same kind of sound which for thousands of years, when technology, this is also technology incidentally, technology was not as evolved as it is today, but our consciousness and thought process was evolved enough to help us understand the difference between this sound and, mark my words, and juxtapose the sound that you will hear every time when you go through the reception now. And I hope that we will wake up and some change will be made, because that sound is as soon as you get in through that door, the sound that it makes is Imagine what it does to your being. Imagine and experience the energy that it creates and the vibration that this will create. I am juxtaposing these two together so we all understand how unconscious we are. Every day, all of us in a research park, we have been walking in without being sachetan. So are we awake? Can we call ourselves awake? If that sound has not woken us up, can we call ourselves awake? So that is why we started with Prakriti Jagaran Yatra. See, nothing can start, no research, no problem solving can start unless and until we wake up. And wake up is not a question of waking up only from sleep. There is a whole spectrum of waking up. We have to wake up from being in a woken state. And this one example, there are myriads of such examples we can keep talking about, but this is just one example. That is why I am imploring to all of you, persuading all of you, when you hear the sound of the shank and the bell, do juxtapose it with the sound that you must have heard when you entered, and henceforth, every time you come in and go out when you hear that sound, please try to juxtapose it. And remember, this is the kind of sound that has also been installed. What happens when we go to a temple? Is it not there? Isn't there always a bell that is out there? Don't you ring the bell and then come in? What does that do? Imagine the technology of the bell. Just in terms of the sound, it creates a sound so that your chetana, your consciousness, no matter where it is, or you can think of the mind or your thoughts next. But before the thoughts even, there is your consciousness, your chetana, your awareness. Your thoughts, your chetana can be wandering anywhere. But as soon as you hear the bell, it is like a huge funnel. So wherever it is, if you are trying to pour water into this bottle, if you try to pour, it's all going here and there. But if you use a funnel technology, innovation at one point of time, that must have been as much of a technology as what is happening in the 5th and 6th floor with the robotics. But at that point of time, what was it doing? In the same way that the funnel ensures that all that we are trying to pour in gets concentrated into the place that we are trying to, in the same way, our rishis and munis designed the bell, the sound of the bell. So the sound itself catches your attention, no matter where it is. It catches our attention, the person who's walking in, and it also catches the attention of everyone else who's there. So everyone understands that someone has come in. So, it is not just to awaken the person who has walked in, but it is also to awaken everyone else. So it's the same thing that this technology is also trying to do. It's awakening. Is the security sleeping that we need that sound? The security is supposed to be awake. But assuming that, is sleeping, there is a sound. But why should that sound be? Why can't it be? Well, the next time I will ring it, I will implore all of you to automatically just close your eyes. See, the problem is that even though this is installed in temples, let's say, you can do a survey. And this is, again, scientific methodology. You can do a survey. And you will see that everyone who's coming in, how do they ring the bell when they come into the mandir, into a temple? You will see one after the other. They just come in, dang, go. Dang, go. Dang, baja ke chal gaya. Now, is that the reason why this technology was developed? It has become a mere ritual, and from that ritual it has degenerated to a sense where we are in the best, most premium institute of the country, where the Every researcher is coming in, scientists are coming in, walking in, going out. We install a security thing where when we come in, the sound is and we don't even care. And we don't care because the bell that is installed outside the temple also we don't care actually. We just ring it because we have to ring it. The point is that it is a technology which is to be used. How is it to be used? That as soon as you ring, you should close your eyes and listen to it. There is something that we are supposed to do. So it's designed in a manner where it will catch your attention from anywhere. I'm taking a little bit time because we'll have to wait for some of the people. And so it's designed in a manner like the funnel. It catches your wandering chitta, your awareness and your consciousness, and your mental thought processes, and funnels it. Now notice the sound. It slowly becomes zero, just like the funnel. Slowly comes into a 1 point. So it slowly goes in. What are you supposed to do? Not just walk away after ringing the bell. You are supposed to listen to the bell. How long? As long as it rings. And you will find it very difficult as the sound fades out slowly, till it becomes zero. You are still trying to listen. When it becomes very faint, you are still trying to listen. This challenge helps you to concentrate. Now you are focused. Now your thoughts your thoughts were aware. So there is pratyahar, which is the 5th stage of Ashtanga Yoga. Pratyahar, retreat your thoughts and your awareness from everywhere else. And there is dharana, which is the 6th step, which you are holding on to that sound. And the sound is designed in a manner that it will now take you into dhyana and samadhi. Samadhi, why? Because when it becomes nothing, what are you hearing then? When there is no sound, when the sound becomes zero, there is nothing. Are you not hearing anything? No. When you were sleeping, you were not hearing anything. But now you are hearing nothing. There is a difference between these two. When you were sleeping, you were not hearing anything. But now you are hearing nothing. And that, when you are able to hear nothing, you are most awakened. And they designed it and put it outside the temple so that you could awaken and be most awakened when you go in with the objective of working on yourself. Because we go on to the temple not to do anything else. And when I say temple, it's not just temple. You will see bells in churches and in recently we have installing exactly the similar kind of biophilic studio and a biophilic Vatika, we call this actually, also in the only mosque that is there in the parliament, in our India's parliament campus. There is actually no temple, but there is a mosque which has always been there, primarily because all the parliamentarians over the ages, they have a need to go and because Quran, prayers, the Nawaz has to be read 5 times. So, for example, if Abul Kalam Azad or anyone of the people who follow Islam, the people who follow the other so-called religions are not as bound together, as bound by the rules so they had to go. So they had to create a mosque very close by, so that when the session was on, they could just quickly go. So there is no temple, but there is a mosque within the campus of the parliament. And this year, in 2024 elections, the imam of that mosque, he has got elected in the elections also. And he actually beckoned us when he came to know about us to come and set up. It is also a place which is Fakiruddin Ali Ahmad's Mazar is there. So what I'm trying to say when I am talking about mandir or bell or shank, it is not to do with any specific ideology, but it has to do with dharma, definitely. But the next question, if you ask which dharma, that means you are adharmi. Because there's only one dharma. Only one dharma which helps us to remain away from adharma. And in order to remain away from adharma, it has to start with remaining awake. The moment our wakefulness falls, so I hope that there will be this biophilic studio that we are talking about. This is part of a movement which actually I'm really grateful, because our distinguished alumni and my very dear friend, we have studied together and done a lot of mischief together in college, in IIT. But when we started this whole game, the first Vatika that we actually set up was in the police museum. At that point of time, Shri Goel, who had just taken over as Commissioner of Police. Before that, we had worked on a lot of programs together, had kind of mandated this, so we set it up there. And then this one, the one that we are inaugurating today, is only the 8th. So it's not that, and this, as I said, many of you all will know, that must have been almost 3 years back, because his commissioner period was almost 3 years. So in 3 years we have achieved only 7. But we are working on a target of what we call 1 million Vatikas. Now you will say, Choti Muh Badi Baat, even for Mr. Modi or Mr. Ambani or whoever, it is a very, very big number. But we are not, even though in 3 years we have done only 7, and the target we had set in 5 years we will do 1 million. Ye bol ke shuru kiya tha. So 3 years have gone by, we have done only 7. But I will also share with you, it was this particular Vatika, the plans for this, the first seed was sown in August 2023, when Dr. Patro was the Deputy Director. And as the Deputy Director, he was the ex officio head of the research park, which is a separate entity as such. So he had seen the picture of one of the Vatikas somewhere else, and he had sent me, because he was a senior from college, and so he sent a mail saying, "This has taken my breath away. Let's meet and see what we can do. Can we do something in research park?" It has taken us 1.5 years to actually set this up in research park, but I think if we have to, we will, in our panel discussions moving forward, we will discuss about what to learn from nature. One of the most important things we learn from nature is scalability. Today everyone, when I say 1 million Vatikas, it means, are you thinking scalability? And everyone in the industry talks scalability. So I've actually put it out there, 1 million Vatikas is so scalable, it has to be. So is it? As of now, we have not scaled it, but I think the model from the beginning has been designed in a manner to scale. I think it is waiting for some spark, some explosion. Will it be IIT? The one in the mosque was being discussed in October. The day it was kind of decided, we were called, Shuru kiya jai, we did the design and everything. It is still waiting for security clearance. So we have not started work. I'll give one small anecdote before closing this and moving ahead with the others. When the decision about this Vatika that you see when you enter, and when this was being taken, obviously being a government institution, it has to go through the hoops, and we expect that. There is nothing wrong with that. Having systems and processes is absolutely a must, without which nothing can happen. So it was going through all these hoops. It was taking so much time that I had finally, even someone like myself, I take pride in how patiently I work, was kind of almost given up. Then finally I got a call from Professor Pathak, and he said, that you will get a call from another Professor Manav Das, and the file has gone to his table and he has to give a final opinion. So because it has been, he has also been, because he is completely independent, he is kind of outside this, he has to give an opinion. I know a lot of professors in Kharagpur because by virtue of being part of an alumni network, etc. But somehow I had never met Professor Das. I had no connection with him. So lo and behold, I got a call from him. But by then, in any case, this was just, I think, couple of months back. So it is almost, Professor Patra had already moved out, and then we had actually installed a prototype Vatika last in 23 December. Which we had to take out because it was, there was no work done and all that. We just said that let us put something up, everyone will see, then maybe everything will come in place. So we had to take it out because it is live plants. It's not just installations like technology, television and all that. So anyway, 2 months back when I got this call from Professor Das, I had already almost given up. So I said, okay, okay, aap aiye, we will, please come and see whatever, you do your this thing. So he came, and I must tell you that in our ashram, we don't have this kind of setup. When meetings happen, when people come, they sit on the floor. So he came, he sat on the floor. I knew here was someone who's coming to do the final, whatever, this, that, important, this thing. But I said, so be it, whatever, let me just, Sach ki raahon mein chalta chal. This is who we are. You see what we are. Normally, we would have come here, presented something, this, that, shown him presentation, video of what we have done in other places. He came, he sat on the floor, and we had 2 hours. He sat there and he explained how different he felt when he walked in there. And the fact that he sat on the floor, he really appreciated that. And then I don't know what he signed, what he wrote on the file, you all will know better. But, one of the things I had told him was that, so this was just immediately after Durga Puja. And we have Dr. Chakravarti, who's Dr. Shopan Chakravarti here. He is someone who had saved our son's life when he was an infant, just a newborn. After that, we didn't know about him. We had completely gone out of touch. 25 years later, suddenly we reconnected because of a plant like this. He had taken a plant like this from our Vatika, which had dried up, and he was looking around, how can I get a replacement or get it back? So in that search, he finally landed up absolutely with me, although he had not taken it. We didn't know. And then we just, this passion of this 74, you are, doctor? 74-year-old doctor who is carrying this plant and looking around, where is the final person who will, because I think down the line we were also bureaucratic and didn't replace it or did whatever. So he came to me and he just, so in the meantime what had happened was, he does a lot of charity work. So he was sitting one day at Addapit, which is, as you know, the Ramakrishna Mission related temple at Addapit, where he called up that I have discussed the idea of a Vatika here in the Addapit. So when would you have time with the monks who run it? When will you have time? I said, it will take me 1 hour to reach. If it is Addapit, I will come now. And in 1 hour, so he waited and I went. This was 4 days before Shashti. And on the day of Shashti, we inaugurated the Vatika at Addapit.
Because the monk has said that can you finish it before this puja, before puja starts?
No, this was 4 days before Shashti. And he said that, he had no clue what it takes. We do things fast, but 4 days is still. No, so he said, puja, a lot of people come, can you do? He thought we will just place some pots and this and that. So on Shashti evening, we actually inaugurated Addapit. And this is the story I told Professor Das. I said, it is taken so much time. In Addapit you go, there also in the campus you will see college, you will see mess, you will see school, you will see hostel, everything is there. You will see big auditorium, all that is there, and only 4 or 5 monks are running it. They are, none of them are MBAs, engineers, this, that, nothing, whatever, they are running it. And lo behold, they said, the decision happened. Even I keep giving this example, during the inaugural event, we landed there, nothing much was planned, Shwasti, everything, work had happened. During the inaugural event, this shrunk, this, that happened. Suddenly from out of the blue, we had also not planned, but one whole tokri of laddus came, and it laddu matna bhi ho gaya. I don't know who has approved that, but it is not that they don't have an accounting system, mind you. They have a very robust accounting system and all that. But I don't know who is the approving authority, what not, this, that, but it was not pre-planned, that much I know. When Vivek Bhai, who this, they call, the monks call themselves Bhai, so it is not really this Maharaj or that Mahacharya or anything. Vivek Bhai, he just realized, oh, hoche kichu nahi. Within 5 minutes, one tokri of laddu came and laddu matna ho gaya. This laddu was bought, it was not that it was from the store, it came from the shops outside. So money has been paid, accounting has been done. So I was telling these kind of things, that there are ways by which these things happen also. We need to really learn and understand. So from nature, how we can learn the lessons of scalability, those are the kind of things we will discuss in the panel discussion. But what I really wanted to say is that the dream or the vision or the shapath is that of 1,000,000 Vatikas. 1,000,000 is not a number which has been just ऐसे ही आसमान से टपक गिरा, ऐसा नहीं है. It is 1,000,000 Vatikas because of a very simple reason. There are 1,000,000 booths that are used for conducting elections in our country. So booths are needed for for managing our relationship with every citizen. So that is why we think that connecting it with one Vatika per booth is the method by which it can scale. I wanted to also just in conclusion say that in around 4 months back, we did have a request to set up 1,300 Vatikas before February in the Juggi Jhoppadis of Delhi. Why? Because Delhi elections were coming. And that I had to withdraw because I realized I would fall flat on my face. 1,300 in a space of, with the kind of preparedness we had now, was not something that I could take on. So we very, very chalaki se we came out of it. So with that I will move on to the next one, but as promised, just give a minute to listen to the sound of the shank and the bell, and as was invoked, try to do it in using the technique in which the rishis and the munis had actually designed it. Thank you.